Yo, welcome back, everybody. This is Cam and Dan Live. I'm your boy Cam, and that's my co-host Dan, baby. We gonna talk about Brooklyn.
We're gonna talk
about Brooklyn today, man, and how beautiful it is. You know, trees grows in Brooklyn. So,
you know what else grows in Brooklyn, huh?
So how was your night last night, man? How was everything going for you over there?
My night was fine. Everything was fine, you know. Last night we had recording this video. This is October 18th, 2020. And last night, Saturday night, in Las Vegas, Nevada, history was made. History was made.
But before we talk about that
history, why don't you tell us?
But before you talk about the history being made, let's talk about, actually history it was almost like two histories being made last night, man. We had Edgar Berlanga out of Brooklyn, New York, man. This man is 15 fights with 15 first round knockouts. I mean, he has more knockouts in the first round straight than Mike Tyson, and then he's. I think the record is like 18, and he's getting up there, man. He's getting up there. Yeah. But
I like
what you say?
I like what I see. You know, the ferocity was tremendous. Do you know how rare that is? Do you know how rare that is to have not only 15 to be 15 and 15, but to be 15, all of them coming in the first round, all of them.
That's crazy, man. Like, and he's just getting better. Like, you know how, and I think he's only 20 years old. You know how they say, like, you gotta grow into your man strength. I think he had his man strength when he was 14. You know what I'm saying? And his boxing. Say that again.
Well, what's when he's gonna get his quote unquote man strength is gonna be lethal. He's gonna knock him out before they even get into the ring at this stage. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's gonna be lethal what he can.
And the fact that he's working with his trainer, and they're trying to get him to be even better in terms of his boxing ability, which is even great. But I think he's a problem right now. But let's see what happens, because sometimes this goes on, and then they actually start getting there with elite fighters, and then that's when you really gonna have to show your boxing skills. So, but right now, I mean,
What?
He's at super middle 168. You froze on me.
Super middle 168. Wow, got you. Did I freeze? Am I good?
Yeah, you good now. You good now. So now let's talk about the main event, man. Let's talk about the main event. I mean,
I'll just say one quickly on Edgar Berlanga. I feel like this. You can have all the power in the world. I feel like in these stages, it's very risky to be doing what he's doing. It's very risky to be going out there and willingly trying to get that knockout in the first 15 rounds, the first 15 fights. A lot of people say, why do boxers face a lot of journeymen, this, yada, yada? A lot of boxers are supposed to have these fights to learn. They're supposed to have these fights to learn and to test themselves to see, do I have the stamina capacity to get to round 7? Do I have the technical ability to get to round 7? How do I perform in round 6 in contrast to round 1? It's great having the knockouts, and it's even phenomenal having first round knockouts. But I feel like at this time it shouldn't always be occurring. He should learn, because the worst thing that he wants to happen is, let's say that power that put people away so early, it doesn't happen for anyone else. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen for his next opponent. Now he's thinking, what in the hell do I do? You know what I'm saying? And he might have a lot of other tools and skills in his arsenal, but putting them in there you know, exercising them and executing them, especially as he's just right now 15-0. You know, as soon as you get, you know, around 15 fights, you're moving into contender territory. You're moving into world ranking territory. So especially the super middleweight division, where you got guys like Billy
Even
Joe Saunders.
Benavidez, Billy Joe
Yeah.
Saunders. You got Caleb Plant.
And, you know, guys who are technical wonderkins, you know, is Caleb Plant. A powerful fighter with a granite chin, David Benavidez. A technical wonder in BJS, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like he should be learning boxing fundamentals, not just in the gym. He may be doing that in the gym, but he should be putting them out there, you know,
I
in
agree with you, but I don't think
the
that's
ring.
what's happening. I think he's trying to go to these later rounds and he's trying to open up his tools, but
It's just,
it's just the
yeah,
power's there. Like, I mean, why
yeah,
go? You ain't gonna get paid for overtime. Like, listen, you gonna get if you knock him out in the first round, or if it goes 8 rounds, you still gonna get
yeah,
paid that same amount of money. So
yeah.
I could get him out in the first round, get him out in the first round.
Yeah.
Play around because he might, you know, be playing around and all of that, and then he might get clipped and knocked out. So
He might, yeah, right.
you know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
But nah, I think he does have. I mean, when I watch all his 15 knockouts, I've watched it in like 10 minutes. I see that there. I see that there's skill there, but it's just like he hits so hard right now. There's no reason to even try to exercise any extra. You know what I'm saying? If I could get him out of there, I'm gonna get him out of there.
Imagine explaining this in 5 years. I remember when I was watching Edgar Berlanga's first 15 fights, those 5 minutes of my life were just insane. Can you imagine? Like, all 5 of those minutes while I was watching this guy's first 15 fights as a professional, all 5 of those minutes were like, wow, you know. But yeah, coming into the main event at the bubble of the MGM Grand, you had shock and awe, and you had history in the making. First of all, a full disclaimer, I like Vasily Lomachenko. And I like Teofimo Lopez. I seen a video of Teofimo Lopez, a piece in the book of his fight, which made me feel very sorry for him in the relationship with his father. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't mind. You know, I didn't mind who won as long as, you know, it was a good fight. Both men were healthy. It was one of those situations. And so, your take on it first, Cam?
Well, I wanna say I thank God that, you know, these guys was able to walk out of that ring last night unhurt, unscathed. All the fighters that fought on that card.
Mm-hmm.
I was very I wanted Lopez to win, but I was very, very surprised with the way he came out and the fact that he boxed. You know what I mean? And the fact that he would, you know, it was southpaw versus conventional, so you already know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? And I think we should do a video maybe, you know, later on explaining the southpaw and conventional to most people who don't understand. But what he did was he took away Lomachenko's jab, and he would jab Lomachenko's hand. Like he would throw the jab out, but he would just keep hitting Lomachenko's jab hand and hitting it and just hitting it. If I jab you to the face, I'm gonna jab you to your hand. And Lomachenko was very hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Up until like the 8th round, he was very hesitant to at least throw his jab back because Lopez kept throwing his jab at the hand, and then Lopez was working the body, like I said. And, you know, he tried to cut the ring off. He tried to, you know, trying to cut the ring off against Lomachenko is a very hard feat to do.
For the most part, he did. And I had to say, I'll put you back in a second. For the most part, he did cut off the ring, but he didn't capitalize enough when he did do it. What he'd do is he'd push him towards, he'd take him right down to the corner, drag him to the corner. As soon as he gets there, he'd throw 1 or 2 shots and then do nothing, and then Lomachenko would move back out again, you know. And so it was it was frustrating to the part of like he should have gone for barrages and he should have gone for spurts at that time. But then again, you know, always in boxing, it's easier said than done. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, but I mean, to piggyback off what you said, it's not even that. Like you could go in there and try to rush. You gotta understand too, Lomachenko, no matter how you look at it, is still a very skillful boxer. You still got to be aware of going in there and trying to go all out and then getting countered. You know what I'm saying? Because if he could have got countered by Lomachenko, he got countered because Lomachenko later on in the fight, like the eighth round, and I said like the eighth round and above, that's when Lomachenko really started letting his hands go, and he was catching, Lopez with some shots, and Lopez was kind of like, he was a little hesitant to jump on him after he was getting hit by them shots by Lomachenko, but then, that 12th round, that's when he was like, man, I'm going all out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going all out. I want to make sure I have this fight in the bag. My
Yeah.
the one issue that I had though with the fight was just listening to some of the commentators and
What was a lot of comments about the commentators, and a lot of people offer the commentators. Obviously, it was Dre Young, Dre Ward, and Tim Bradley, and who's the white ESPN's commentator?
I want to say it was Mark Kriegel that was there with them.
Okay.
I can't really remember. I would like to have to go back and figure it out, but he was the only one that was like on point. Like I expect Timothy Bradley to do what he do because he wishy-washy and back and forth. But Andre Ward, he had that fight as a draw.
Really?
I'm like, yo, Dre, like, what are you watching? What are you watching?
Yeah, he did. And I was thinking to myself, to be honest, there was at one time, it was the scorecards came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was, the scorecards came out and it was his scorecards. And I was thinking to myself, damn it. Like, he had it, I think going into the 11th, he had it 5 rounds apiece. And I was thinking, damn, you know what I'm saying? From a capacity that, it's not that I wanted Lomachenko to lose, but it would have been great to see Teofimo Lopez win. And so I was like, come on, you know what I'm saying? And then I realized if Lomachenko wins the 11th round, which I think he did, and then Teofimo Lopez wins the 12th round, it's going to be a draw. But is it really, to a certain extent, I had to forget he's not a judge, you know what I'm saying? And so I think it was the end of the 11th round. I was like, oh, thank God, of course. Ward is just an analyst, you know what I'm saying? We'll see what the actual judges think.
But then after the fight, that guy that was there with him, I want to say it was Mark Kriegel. I might be wrong, but he said up until the 8th round, Lomachenko landed single digits from the 1st round to the 7th round.
Yeah.
So right there, to me, Lopez won the first 7 rounds. And then he won the 12th round. So that's 8 rounds to 4. Because the 8th round, you can, the 9th, the 10th, and 11th, you could get it. I'll get that to Lomachenko because that's when he was really coming on. But if you were landing single digit punches from round 1 to round 7, you could win the rest of the rounds if you don't knock them down. But win the rest of the rounds, that's. I'm sorry, in my opinion, that's still a loss. 7 rounds, 5, still a loss.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a good fight all in all. I was just real surprised to see that Lopez coming out and boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And that really surprised me. And, I just want to know, what do you think? Where do you think they go from there, both Lopez and Lomachenko?
So my take on the fight is that I think one, it was an interesting fight. It got better, obviously. You could see how Lomachenko changing it up. You could see a big sense of desperation, and what happened was, like, in my opinion is that I feel. Remember what you said, your hypothesis that if Lopez catches him in the same way that Linares caught him, it would almost be it. He would finish better than Linares did.
Yeah.
I feel that Lomachenko knew that as well. And what Lomachenko did was to be very cautious and very tentative with his shots, tentative with his moving. He wanted to collect the data, but because Teofimo Lopez was asserted himself quickly, he didn't give him the time or the time to think, the opportunity to think, to get his thoughts together, and he made it very difficult for Lomachenko to assess the situation. And then it wasn't until Anatoly, Loma father or Loma team, told him that you're losing this fight. And then you just see this burst of, I don't want to say desperation like he was desperate, but like it was like rush hour. It was like one of those, okay, I have to move, you know what I'm saying? I have to move. And so, what's the saying? And you can see Lomachenko, everything he was throwing landed. Everything he was doing landed. His performance in the 8th, 9th rounds, in those later 10th rounds was, incredible. And he found it too, a sense of urgency. That's the word, a sense of urgency built in him. And that could have flipped the entire script. And so, but it definitely came far too late. And you know what? And all the best to Teofimo Lopez. We did a tremendous thing that night, and all the best to Loma too. I really like the way that Loma, he came back in and he tried not to stay out of the fight. And but yeah, all the best to both those guys that night.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't like though, I didn't like the fact that Lomachenko, when the scorecards was red and they said Teofimo won, he just walked right out the ring. I ain't like that.
He walked out of the ring, yeah. True. I did find that curious. Maybe it was a sense of frustration. Maybe it was a sense, maybe frustration at the scorecards because he felt that in and of himself that he won as well. There was one interesting statistic by CompuBox which said, what do you think of statistics like this? How would you score a card? Let's say you didn't watch the fight, but you got the CompuBox statistic handed back to you, and it said that in this round, Lopez threw 19 shots. I'm sorry, Lopez landed 19 shots. Lomachenko landed 19 shots, but Lomachenko threw 30 and Lopez threw 60. What would you think of something like that? They both landed the same number of shots, but Lomachenko threw less. Lopez threw a little bit more, or somewhat more.
I would go with the percentage, and I would go with you landed 19, you threw 30. I'm going with the percentage that's a
Got you.
60%, more than 60%. I ain't trying to do math right now.
I know, I got you. No, that's fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. But also to a lot of the judges, especially depending on angles, seldom do you see what's being landed, what's not. What's being hit on the glove. What's being hit on the arm as opposed to the body, especially if they're on the far side of the ring. But there was one scorecard that came out that was 119 to 109, and I feel
that one was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous, and I feel like things like that, it can frustrate you as a fighter, and I feel like Lomachenko was frustrated, at those certain developments, especially, I think he thought that he had won the fight. So I feel like it wasn't as much bitterness as it was frustration, frustration at the scorecard and frustration at what had happened, But yeah, I feel like it was just one of those things in the moment. And do I blame him? Not really. I think it was just frustration. I don't think he was bitter.
So where do you think they go from here? Where do you think their careers go from here?
It's a great question. I say, and Essex Eddie Hearn, the self-proclaimed undisputed king of Essex, the king of British boxing, he said that after Haney and Gamboa, they're gonna try to get something going for Haney and Lopez, and so that should be an easy fight to make. But Lopez also spoke about going up to 140, and a fight with Ramirez will be very easy to make. Even a fight with Taylor would be very easy to make as well. And so he's got, especially in that field, he's got a lot of great options. He's the undisputed champion at lightweight. He's and the two contemporaries upstairs at super lightweight, they're both under his banner. So those are fights that are easy to make. Those are very competitive fights as well, especially a fight with Ramirez. And so, or, he can do a fight with Haney, and maybe even a fight with, he might not fight Rolly Romero. I think those two are close friends, or he might not fight him yet. And Tank Davis, I'm not sure the Tank Davis situation now, especially, Tank Davis being under the boss of bosses, it's going to be interesting to see how the Don stable, Heyman family, how they navigate the fact that they don't really have a lightweight champion or championships inside their banner. So if they do want a lightweight champion or championships, they're going to have to spread out of Premier Boxing Champions. So those negotiations are going to be interesting to see. And so in terms of Lomachenko, I say a fight with Tank. I say he even spoke about it himself, going down to 130. And 130 is a very open division now. You know, you've got yourself a few champions here and there. You don't really have a solid kingpin. So, you know, maybe you could do some business with Jamal Herring or maybe Carl Frampton or maybe Shakur Stevenson. A Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko fight would be phenomenal. And so I say Teofimo Lopez, lightweight, going to super lightweight, doing business around there. Vasily Lomachenko, lightweight, going to junior lightweight, or also known as super featherweight, and doing business around there.
Yeah, I think Lopez, if he can, I think he should stay at lightweight at 135 because it's still good fights for him at 135. You got Devin Haney, which would be a great fight. You got Ryan Garcia still at 135. You still got Richard Coleman. Yeah. Richard Coleman might want his get back.
Yeah.
I don't think he should go to 140 yet because
not yet.
I think he's
I say, sorry to cut you off, but one thing that is good, I say he shouldn't go there until there's an undisputed champion. And then if he goes and fights said undisputed champion, becomes boxing's first ever 2-division undisputed world champion. To hold the 4 belts,
Yeah. I mean, but it'll be tough for him because I remember he fought that the Asian guy who was a taller fighter. He struggled with him. Both Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor are taller fighters. You know, and if he struggled with that Asian guy, well, I don't think he'll struggle with Jose Ramirez because Jose Ramirez like to come forward. That's food for Lopez. I think he might. I don't think he will have a real tough time with Jose Ramirez. That's to me is more of a 50-50 fight, but I know he'll have a hard time with Josh Taylor. So I would stay at 135 for a while, and then get a little bit more experience, and then go up to 140. Because now we're talking, it's a different. I mean, at 135 he's great, but at 140 now you're talking about bigger fighters. Even though Lopez looks huge, man, jeez, like his back is massive and wide.
That's the big back. You know what I'm saying? And
I think he got going. He'll be able to hold this, but then even if you do what I want, then you still got Regis Prograis. I don't know if he would even want to step in the ring with Regis Prograis, man. That's a
Regis Prograis, yeah.
Regis Prograis gets busy.
That's a heck.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's like when he fought Richard Coleman. Like whoever gets to land that clean shot first is going to win the fight. That's how I feel if he was to fight on Regis Prograis. But as far as Lomachenko, I think Lomachenko should go down to 130, or even if he can make featherweight at 126, because at 135, it looked like he lost some speed, and he doesn't look like it's a division for him body wise. Like he's very small. Like he looked out of shape fighting at 135. He doesn't look as ripped. You don't see the cut in his body. You don't see the 6-pack. You don't see anything. So I think he should go back down to 130 or 126. And even with going down, I think at 130, the only problem he probably would have is probably Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? I think he can clear that division out, man. He can wipe that division out. And just his only issue would be Shakur. And then at featherweight, if he was to go down to 126, but I don't think he would do, his only problem would probably be Gary Russell Jr. And I don't even think that fight will come, you know what I mean? I don't think that fight would happen.
You know who will be a tremendous problem for Vasily Lomachenko? If he goes down, it might happen in catchweight. If it does, your prospect about him going to 126 was interesting. If he can make 126, he's getting much older now. Maybe he can. But maybe it might be made at 128 if the guy doesn't want to come up. Vasily Lomachenko versus Josh Warrington.
I got Vasily. I got Vasily in that fight.
I got Josh Warrington. Actually, I got Josh Warrington by decision a split decision or a majority decision.
Nah, I got Vasily, man.
Unanimous decision happens in Great Britain.
I got Vasily. I got
That,
Lomachenko on that
that
one.
the big thing about Josh Warrington, right? He's got great skills, great aggression, ruthless aggression. No Brock Lesnar. The thing about his what I that's what I like that about him. I feel like he should have an adaptation gene. He should learn. He needs to adapt. So because what I feel that may happen is that he may win the first 4 rounds based on his aggression, and his tenacity. But in the 5th and 6th, Vasil would start to pick it up and then counter again against him. He can still continue to win the fight if he adapts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I still got Vasily.
I feel like if he does, I don't. We still got Vasily. See,
So, man, you got anything else, man? Oh, say that again.
Shakur Stevenson losing against Josh Taylor anyway, so that's
against
that's
Josh
what
Taylor.
I gotta say.
Against Josh Taylor, you said?
Against Josh Taylor, yes.
Josh Taylor at 140?
Oh, sorry, Josh Warrington.
At Josh Warrington? If Warrington move up to 130, we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But you got anything else, man?
Oh, no, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and congratulations to Teofimo Lopez. All the best to Vasily Lomachenko. One thing, and what irritates me, a lot of people, because obviously he has been a hyped fighter and a highly rated fighter. A lot of people, they downplay him. They say Loma's this, Loma's that, Loma's overrated. I don't think he's over. You have to think to yourself, this is a guy from boxing. Didn't start boxing at 17 when he was a full-grown man. Started boxing when he was a child and went 396 and won 397 fights, won 396 of them, only lost one, and that one was avenged. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko is a truly special fighter, and seldom has a fighter come into the professional ranks and within 20 fights done what he's done. And within those 20 fights has continually faced top opposition after top opposition after top opposition. The only person who's done that close is Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua doesn't have the amateur pedigree that Vasil has, and the things that he does in the ring, he is a matrix, and I feel like he should get that credit that he does definitely deserve, and so I feel like, a lot of people like that Loma bashing, but I just do believe that Vasil Lomachenko is a special once-in-a-generation fighter, and I'm truly grateful that I was in that generation to see Vasil Lomachenko. So yeah, that's what I gotta say, man. Respect to Teofimo Lopez for doing what he had to do, and respect to Vasil Lomachenko for taking that fight.
Yeah, I just want to add on to that. It was less than 20 fights. It was 16 fights that he did. It 14-1. He fought last 16 fights, and he's a 3-division champion.
Yeah.
126, 130, 135, and less than 16 fights. That's amazing. And in top level competition. In every weight classes. I gotta give him that's hats off to the man, that's hats off.
And not only that, he even quenches. There's beating top opposition, and there's beating other fighters that people also call, generational greats. You know what I'm saying? And the only person who was ever compared to against Lomachenko as the greatest amateur fighter of all time was Guillermo Rigondeaux. A lot of people do talk about, the weight classes and everything, but at the same time, what happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happened. And so hats off to Lomachenko, and definitely hats off to Teofimo Lopez. And thank you guys for tuning in, man, on this episode. We're gonna be back next month in November. And
not November, we got Tank. We got Tank on October 31st coming up against we got more, man. We got more. People will be back before next month. We'll be back before next month.
Halloween night. This was Leo Santa on pay-per-view.
And we got to do those predictions coming up. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and we gone.